laughter. Nini and I don't look like sisters, not right away. Not the way you can tell with Rachel and Lucy, who have the same fat popsicle lips like everybody else in their family. But me and Nini, we are more alike than you would know. Our laughter, for example, not the shy ice cream giggles of Rachel and Lucy's family, but of a sudden and surprise like a pile of dishes breaking and other things I can't explain. One day, we were passing a house that looked, in my mind, like houses I had seen in Mexico. I don't know why. There was nothing about the house that looked exactly like the houses I remembered. I'm not even sure why I thought it, but it seemed to feel right. "Look at that house," I said. "It looks like Mexico." Rachel and Lucy look at me like I'm crazy, but before they can let out a laugh, Nini says, "Yes, that's Mexico, all right. That's what I was thinking exactly." Chapter 8. Gil's Furniture Bought and Sold. There is a junk store. An old man owns it. We bought a used refrigerator from him once, and Carlos sold a box of magazines for $1. The store is small, with just a dirty window for light. He doesn't turn the lights on unless you got money to buy things with. So, in the dark, we look and see all kinds of things, me and Nini. Tables with their feet upside down and rows of refrigerators with round corners and couches that spin dust in the air when you punch them, and 100 TVs that don't work, probably. Everything is on top of everything, so the whole store has skinny aisles to walk through. You can get lost easy. The owner, he's a black man who doesn't talk much, and sometimes, if you didn't know better, you could be in there a long time before your eyes notice a pair of gold glasses floating in the dark. Nini, who thinks she is smart and talks to any old man, asks lots of questions. Me, I never said nothing to him, except once when I bought the Statue of Liberty for $0.10. But Nini, I hear her asking one time, "How's this here?" And the man says, This is a music box." And I turn around quick, thinking he means a pretty box with flowers painted on it, with a ballerina inside. Only there's nothing like that where the old man is pointing, just a wood box that's old and got a big brass record in it with holes. Then he starts it up and all sorts of things start happening. It's like all of a sudden he let go 1,000,000 moths all over the dusty furniture and swan neck shadows and in our bones. It's like drops of water, or like marimbas, only with a funny little plucking sound to it, like if you were running your fingers across the teeth of a metal comb. And then, I don't know why, but I have to turn around and pretend I don't care about the box so Nini won't see how stupid I am. But Nini, who is stupider, already is asking how much, and I can see her fingers going into the quarters in her pants pocket. "This," the old man says, shutting the lid, "this ain't for sale." Chapter 9.
Wait, Mom.
Mimi Ortiz. Mimi Ortiz moved into Kathy's house after her family moved away. His family isn't really Mimi. His name is Juan, but when we asked him what his name was, he said Mimi, and that's what everybody calls him, except his mother. Mimi has a dog with gray eyes, a sheepdog with 2 names, one in English and one in Spanish. The dog is big, like a man dressed in a dog suit, and runs the same way its owner does, clumsy and wild with the limbs flopping all over the place like untied shoes. Kathy's father built the house Mimi moved into. It is wooden. Inside, the floors slant, some rooms uphill, some down, and there are no closets. Out front, there are 21 steps, all lopsided and jutting like crooked teeth made the way on purpose, Kathy said, so the rain will slide off. And when Mimi's mom calls from the doorway, Mimi goes scrambling up the 21 wooden stairs with the dog with 2 names scrambling right after him. Around the back is a yard, mostly dirt, and a greasy bunch of boards that used to be a garage. But what you remember most is this tree. Huge, with fat arms and mighty families of squirrels in the higher branches. All around the neighborhood of roofs, black tarred and A-framed, and in their gutters, the balls that never came back down to earth. Down at the base of the tree, the dog with two names barks into the empty air. And there at the end of the block, looking smaller still, our house, with its feet tucked under like a cat. This is the tree we chose for the first annual Tarzan jumping contest. Mimi won and broke both arms. Chapter 10. Louis, his cousin, and his other cousin. Downstairs from Mimi's is a basement apartment that Mimi's mother fixed up and rented to a Puerto Rican family. Louis's family. Louis is the oldest in a family of little sisters. He is my brother's friend, really, but I know he has two cousins and that his t-shirts never stay tucked in his pants. Louis's girl cousin is older than us. She lives with Louis's family because her family is in Puerto Rico. Her name is Marin, or Maris, or something like that. And she wears dark nylons all the time and lots of makeup she gets free from selling Avon. She can't come out and gotta babysit with Louis's sisters, but she stands in the doorway a lot, all the time, singing, clicking her fingers, the same song. Apples, peaches, pumpkin pie, you're in love and so am I. Louis has another cousin. We only saw him once, but it was important. We were playing volleyball in the alley when he drove up in this great big yellow Cadillac with white walls and a yellow scarf tied around the mirror. Louis's cousin had his arm out the window. He honked a couple of times and a lot of faces looked out of Louis's back window, and then a lot of people came out. Louis, Marin, and all the little sisters. Everybody looked inside the car and asked where he got it. There were white rugs and white leather seats. We all asked for a ride and asked where he got it. Louis's cousin said, "Get in." We each had to sit with one of Louis's little sisters on our lap, but that was okay. The seats were big and soft like a sofa, and there was a little white cat in the back window whose eyes lit up when the car stopped or turned. The windows didn't roll up like in ordinary cars. Instead, there was a button that did it for you automatically. We rode up the alley and around the block 6 times, but Louis's cousin said he was going to make us walk home if we didn't stop playing with the windows or touching the FM radio. The 7th time we drove into the alley, we heard sirens. Real quiet at first, but then louder. Louis's cousin stopped the car right where we were and said, "Everybody out of the car." Then he took off, flooring that car into a yellow blur. We hardly had time to think when the cop car pulled in the alley going just as fast. We saw the yellow Cadillac at the end of the block trying to make a left-hand turn. But our alley is too skinny and the car crashed into a lamppost. Marin screamed and we ran down the block to where the cop car siren spun a dizzy blue. The nose of that yellow Cadillac was all pleated like an alligator's, and except for a bloody lip and bruised forehead, Louis's cousin was okay. They put handcuffs on him and put him in the backseat of the cop car, and we all waved as they drove away. Chapter 11. Marin. Marin's boyfriend is in Puerto Rico. She shows us his letters and makes us promise not to tell anybody they're getting married when she goes back to Puerto Rico. She says he didn't get a job yet, but she's saving the money she gets from selling Avon and taking care of her cousins. Marin says that if she stays here next year, she's going to get a real job downtown because that's where the best jobs are, since you always get to look beautiful and get to wear nice clothes and can meet anyone in the subway who might marry you and take you to live in a big house far away. But next year, Louie's parents are going to send her back to her mother with a letter saying she's too much trouble. And that's too bad because I like Marin. She's older and knows lots of things. She is the one who told us how Davy, the baby's sister, got pregnant and what cream is best for taking off mustache hair. And if you count the white flecks on your fingernails, you can know how many boys are thinking of you and lots of other things I can't remember now. We never see Marin until her aunt comes home from work, and even then, she can only stay out in front. She is there every night with the radio. When the light in her aunt's room goes out, Marin lights a cigarette, and it doesn't matter if it's cold or if the radio doesn't work or if we've got nothing to say to each other. What matters, Marin says, is for the boys to see us and for us to see them. And since Marin's skirts are shorter, and since her eyes are pretty, and since Marin is already older than us in many ways, the boys who do pass by say stupid things like, "I am in love with those 2 green apples you call eyes. Give them to me, why don't you?" And Marin just looks at them without even blinking and is not afraid. Marin, under the streetlight, dancing by herself, is singing the same song somewhere. I know. Is waiting for a car to stop, a star to fall, someone to change her life. Chapter 12. Those who don't. Those who don't know any better come into our neighborhood scared. They think we're dangerous. They think we will attack them with shiny knives. They are stupid people who were lost and got here by mistake. But we aren't afraid. We know the guy with the crooked eye is Davy, the baby's brother. And the tall one next to him in the straw brim, that's Rosa's, Eddie V. And the big one that looks like a dumb grown man, he's Fat Boy, though he's not fat anymore, nor a boy. All brown all around. We are safe. But watch us drive into a neighborhood of another color, and our knees go shakety shake, and our car windows get rolled up tight, and our eyes look straight. Yeah, that is how it goes.